Michael Reinell was on the run. He had been named as the suspect in the killing of a right-wing demonstrator in Portland and had fled to Lacey, Washington, a suburb of Olympia. On September 3rd, he is staying here, in an apartment authorities say belongs to Nate Dingus. It's just after 6:50 p.m., and Reinell begins the 100-foot walk to his Volkswagen station wagon. U.S. Marshals, alongside officers from local agencies, are parked in several nearby vehicles, including here, watching his movements. Reinell is only carrying a cell phone and a bag in his hands, says Dingus, who is watching from the parking lot. As Reinell reaches his car, two unmarked vehicles speed toward him. The SUVs stop a foot from the Volkswagen's bumper, boxing it in. 4 officers jump out. The officers claim that they shout, "Stop, police." But Dingus and 4 other eyewitnesses, who are standing here, here, and here, say they don't hear the officers shout any warnings or commands before firing. In the statements they've provided to investigators, officers have given differing accounts.
It seems to be a common issue among police officers, which personally I don't understand, is the fact that police officers don't like saying that they're police. Like at Breonna Taylor's house, all the eyewitnesses, all the witnesses said, oh, they said no warning and all that. I was just like, yeah, we did. Of course we did. Of course we're following our protocol. Why? It's not that hard to get out of your like unmarked car and say, this is the police, put your hands up, like, or like, something like that. Like, I don't understand what's so hard for these people to just say, I am the police. Like, I can't comprehend why they would not want to call it that they were the police, because it would probably also put themselves less at risk if you call it that they're the police.
One officer claims he sees Reinell, inside the car, raise something that looks like a weapon. But 2 other officers say only that Reinell makes, quote, furtive movements toward the center console. They open fire, and bullets pierce the driver's side of the Volkswagen's windshield.
Anyway, let's see that again.
Makes, quote, furtive movements toward the center console. They open fire, and...
Yes, I love when people pull up to my car. I am making movements ready to start my car and leave, and they just open fire on me because I'm reaching for what they presume to be a weapon. The handling of these situations is so terribly done. This is why police officers need to go through a lot more training. You train correctly. Like, this is such an easy instance where they literally have the guy. All they have to say is, "This is the police." He didn't have a weapon, and even if he did, that's when the conflict should ensue. But you should make sure that there's a conflict before you create one. Look at all these these Proud Boys disliking this.
Bullets pierce the driver's side of the Volkswagen's windshield, hitting Reinell, according to investigators. The bullet casings are visible here, just a few feet away. A 911 dispatch conveys the chaos of the scene.
People are running all over, saying they heard about 5 or 6 shots. There are a possible 10 subjects outside right now. Just for information, this may be the U.S. Marshals.
Reinell is wounded, but he manages...
Okay, so another thing. Yeah. The police officer should never be the first one to take a shot. They have the protective equipment, they have the training, they should know how to handle the situation without getting to that point. Second off, even if they're not shooting the first shot, they should not be shooting 6, 7. I think they said 5 or 6 bullets, 5 or 6 shots. They should not be shooting that many times at one guy in a car who doesn't even have a weapon. It's maddening to see things like this happen to just citizens in general. Specifically, this happens significantly disproportionately to black people and people of color. But even this Antifa activist is, I'm pretty sure I saw that he was a white guy. This is happening. Like, this is a pure example of everyone's like, oh well, it's just you're just making something out of nothing because it's black people, which is obviously not true. But this is what's up, Vulture? But you made me lose my train of thought, man. But this is obviously just an issue with the police force as a whole. Yeah, wait, I need to fix this. Wait. Like that. Ah. No, it was alright. I was in my own world. Don't feel bad. I'm just trying to do filler while we're waiting on ballots to pull in.
Just to flee the Volkswagen. Officers continue to fire. Reinell steps from behind a truck and into the street. One officer claims that Reinell raises a handgun, but other officers say that Reinell only reaches toward his pocket. A fifth officer arrives here in this area.
Okay, so another thing about this, he's already injured from inside the car. He's out here, he's exposed, he's obviously not shooting, he doesn't have a weapon. They continue to shoot him as he's walking. And then another officer says that he didn't even have a weapon until here. If you didn't have a weapon until here, then you shouldn't have been shooting all through here to start with also, which, yeah. Again, another thing makes no sense to me.
And opens fire along with the others. Reinell falls. None of the eyewitnesses on the street has a clear view. According to investigators, 4 officers fired their weapons around 30 times. Investigators won't say how many times Reinell was shot. But the Times visited the scene and reviewed dozens of videos and images. We found that at least 8 bullets hit civilian property. Some of them flew right by 8-year-old Silas Lewis, who'd been riding his bike in the road. Others blew out the windows of a nearby car. At least 5 bullets hit the wall and the fence of Angel Romero's home. One went through his dining room, nearly hitting his brother. Officers say they find a .380 caliber handgun in the right front pocket of Reinell's pants, his hand on or near the weapon. Though police never contend that Reinell fired a weapon, inside the Volkswagen, they find a bullet casing matching that handgun's caliber. Investigators say it could be up to 3 months before crime lab results can prove whether that bullet casing actually matches Reinell's gun. But they also say there is no other evidence that Reinell fired at the officers.
Okay, well, obviously, if the gun was in his pocket when he fell over dead, I don't think he had time to, put it back in his pocket before he fell over dead. Yeah, I don't know. It's just the carelessness of the. This isn't even specifically the police, but this is just the carelessness of law enforcement in general in America.